When an INFJ gets angry, this will happen if you've ever known an INFJ, the rarest personality type in the MBTI types. You've probably seen their gentle, empathetic, and insightful nature shine through in most situations. But what happens when that calm exterior breaks? INFJs, while peaceful and conflict-averse by nature, have a breaking point. When an INFJ gets angry, it's unlike anything you may expect, and it can be both intense and deeply emotional. In this video, we'll dive into the unique way INFJs experience and express anger, why it happens, and how they process these powerful emotions. 1. The slow build-up. INFJs bottle their anger. INFJs are not the type to explode with anger right away. Their initial reaction to conflict or frustration is often to suppress or bottle up their feelings. Why? Because INFJs value harmony and peace above all else. They're highly empathetic and intuitive, often placing the needs and feelings of others above their own. However, this tendency to bottle things up can lead to resentment and frustration building up over time. INFJs can endure a lot of emotional stress before they reach their tipping point. They don't want to hurt anyone or cause conflict, so they internalize their anger. But when that internal storm grows too intense, it eventually needs to be released. 2. The INFJ's passive-aggressive phase. Before reaching full-on anger, many INFJs will express their displeasure through passive-aggressive behaviors. Since they struggle with openly expressing their negative feelings, you might notice subtle cues that something is wrong. They may become distant, cold, or withdraw from conversations, especially if they feel their emotional needs are not being met. This phase is critical because INFJs don't want to openly lash out, but they're also struggling to keep the lid on their emotions. They might send indirect signals, like a change in tone or using short, clipped sentences. You may feel a sense of emotional coldness that's unusual for the typically warm and understanding INFJ. 3. The INFJ door slam, the final break. When an INFJ is pushed beyond their emotional threshold, they may engage in what's known as the infamous INFJ door slam. This isn't just a metaphor, it's an actual mental and emotional cut-off. If an INFJ feels they've been deeply hurt, betrayed, or continuously misunderstood, they may emotionally sever ties with the person causing them pain. It's a coping mechanism to protect their inner world from further harm. The INFJ door slam can be sudden and severe. One day, the INFJ might be deeply involved in your life, and the next, they could completely shut you out. This isn't a temporary fight, it can last for a very long time, sometimes indefinitely. Once they've made the decision to cut someone off, it's difficult to undo. 4. When INFJs finally express their anger. Though INFJs prefer to avoid direct confrontation, when they do express their anger, it can be both shocking and intense. Because INFJs have spent so much time bottling their emotions, when they do finally let their anger out, it often comes with a flood of pent-up frustration, hurt, and disappointment. Their anger is rarely impulsive or irrational. Instead, it's methodical and often rooted in deep emotional hurt. INFJs are known for their insightful nature, and this trait carries into how they express their anger. They can articulate their grievances with piercing accuracy, pointing out exactly where the problem lies. But this sharp clarity can be both a strength and a challenge for those on the receiving end. 5. INFJs and emotional exhaustion. Anger doesn't come naturally to INFJs, and when they do finally reach that point, it's emotionally draining. After an outburst, INFJs often feel a sense of guilt or regret, particularly because they dislike hurting others. They may retreat to process what happened, experiencing deep emotional fatigue as they replay the situation in their mind. INFJs will often seek solitude after expressing anger. They need time to reflect, recharge, and process their emotions. This introspective period is crucial for them to understand what triggered their anger, how they handled it, and how they can move forward. 6. The INFJ's path to forgiveness. While INFJs are highly empathetic and understanding, their forgiveness doesn't come easily after they've been hurt or angered. Once an INFJ feels betrayed or mistreated, regaining their trust can be difficult. They need genuine remorse and consistent effort from the other person to heal the emotional wound. INFJs are also known to forgive but never forget. Even if they let go of their anger, they often remember the situation with vivid clarity, which can make it hard to rebuild a relationship fully. However, when INFJs do forgive, it's sincere, as they value emotional resolution and healing. 7. INFJs and their quiet strength in anger. Despite their soft-spoken and introverted nature, INFJs possess a quiet strength when dealing with anger. They may not scream or rage, but their emotional depth gives them the power to stand firm when needed. Their ability to articulate their thoughts clearly and their strong sense of justice make their anger impactful, even without loud expressions. This quiet strength is often misunderstood by others, as INFJs can seem distant or detached when, in reality, they are working through deeply emotional responses. It's important to recognize that just because they don't always show their anger in typical ways doesn't mean they aren't feeling it intensely. INFJs experience and express anger in ways that are deeply tied to their core traits: empathy, introspection, and emotional depth. When they get angry, it's not impulsive or reactionary. It's often the result of prolonged emotional suppression, hurt, and frustration. Their unique approach to anger, which often includes passive aggression, emotional withdrawal, and eventually a sharp emotional outburst, sets them apart from many other personality types. If you're close to an INFJ, understanding how they process anger is key to maintaining a healthy relationship with them. While they may not show their frustration immediately, it's important to recognize the signs and communicate openly before their emotions reach a breaking point. For INFJs, finding healthy ways to express their emotions and learning to address conflict before it escalates are essential for emotional well-being.